Okay, so I've got those floors set out, and the main reason I put those in is so that I can then start to make these existing entry stairs. So, before I do that, I'll need to have a look at the levels. So I'm going to go to the south elevation so that you can see I've only put in the ground line and the lower floor level. But if you look at the drawing I gave you, you can see that I've got another level which I've just put over on the left-hand side there, because we don't need that for the whole project. I only really need that street level for the stairs. So I'm going to show you can make that a bit differently. Don't worry, if you've already made it, just keep the one you've made. But if you haven't made it yet, then maybe you might want to try it this way, which is to, again, just use the level tool. But in this case, I'm going to draw it right to left, just so that the name goes over on the left-hand side and it's out of the way of my other levels. Okay, and so then, looking at the heights, it should be 500. So here, change that to the height, 500, and then I'm going to change the name to street level. And always yes. So I'm not going to bother putting a number there or anything like that, because this isn't one of my main levels. I don't really need to use this for anything much except for the stairs. So now back into my floor plans, you'll see I've got a street level floor plan. And I'm going to start there because that's where I want my stair to begin. So now, on the architecture tab, you'll see we've got the stair tool. So I'm simply going to click stair and then leave it on the run option, and then again leave it on that straight option. So notice how you've got these different shaped stairs. Over the holidays, if you get time, have some practice with those, because they all do good things. But just to give you some tips there, the L-shaped winder and the U-shaped winder, they are just for winders. So I see a lot of people try to use those for an entire stair, and not really meant for that. And I'll just show you why. So if you do make an L-shaped winder, I'll just put one here. It gives you the whole stair in one go. But what it's really doing there is making winders for the whole stair. Can you see how these angled stairs start before the point where they turn around the corner? Which is not correct. Okay, you would never build a stair like that. So they're not really meant for a whole stair. So watch out for those. It doesn't just mean L-shaped and U-shaped. Again, they are for winders. But apart from that, if I delete this one, apart from that, it's pretty intuitive. So if I go back to the straight stair, so we can easily draw this one by just clicking a point to start, and then I'll take it as far as it can go. So even if I go much further than I need to, notice how it's stopping at that point there just before my floor. So how do you think it knows how long to make that stair? Have you noticed something? Sorry? That's actually spot on. Yeah, it's pretty close. So yeah, that's right. The level I started on was street level. So it's obviously picked that up from the view, the plan that I started drawing in. But then if you look over in properties here, you can see, well, that's the base level. But then it knows, pretty clever, from the next level, which is upper floor, where the stair is going to finish. Now you can adjust that if you want it to finish on a different level, but often the next level will be the level you want it to go to. And so here it's worked out that to go from street level to upper floor, it needs this number of stairs, 13. Which is good. We can easily do a straight stair that long. So that stair is basically done. And I'll position it again though. It's too far to the right, so I can select it now, and then just use the move button snap to the last step and then move that back to where I know the floor is, which is on that reference plate. But then before I finish it, in properties over here, I'll change that to monolithic stair. And you can see then it's going to give me a warning to tell me that the depth of the stair is less than the minimum tread depth, so I'm going to click OK and it'll fix that for me. Yep, so when you select it, don't select it actually, so with nothing selected, you'll see in properties you can change it to a different stair type, and that's where you'll find monolithic. So don't worry about this message about the actual tread depth. It's telling us that it's going to fix it for us, and that's fine. Okay, so if I finish that, when we have a look in 3D, you'll see that's made the stair fairly well. But I'm going to go back and show you some other stairs. So if we go back to, again, street level. So just to give you an idea more generally how the stair tool works, I'll click on stair again. And notice it's picked up the same levels. So I'm going to just this time click a start point and only go along a certain distance. So maybe in this case 6 rises. And I'll stop there. And then I'm just going to start a new point over here to the right and below, and then come down and take it as far as it can go. And notice it puts in the landing automatically. So again, yeah, so it's great. It really is clever. So if I can finish that, have a look at it in 3D. Let's make this thing. Yep, sure. So I'll delete that. And so back into, again, I'll just do the same level again. So clicking on the stair tool. Now, there are options for changing this. You don't always have to draw with the centre line, but that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm drawing a point there for the start of my stair, and you'll see when it comes along, that's going through the centre line of that stair. So I'll click where I want that first flight to finish, and then the next point is going to be the centre of my next flight of stairs. And then coming down, again you can see it's drawn through the centre line, and I'll click again to either finish it, or I can finish before the end and then come along to the next point where I might want another flight, and then again take it as far as it can go. You can, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so if you go back, okay, so back to street level, it's a bit more involved, but yeah, so basically here you can, with the run tool, so you can draw a straight line, and then you can go to winder, and, oh, now sorry, you've got to change your heights. So we'll go through that later. You've got to set up some more levels for that, or at least put in some offsets. So, well, we'll get into the other options as well. So you've got this option for sketch. If you go to create sketch, then you can draw any shape you like as well. So again, we'll go through those options later. There's lots of different ways of making your stair shapes. But yeah, the L shape and the U shape winder, you've got to do a bit of extra setup first to get them to work properly. But what I will show instead of those is the spiral stairs. So you've got these two options for full step spiral and centre end spiral. So they're both really good. So the full step spiral, you just need to give a centre point, come out and give the point for the, again, the starting point of that, that first step. And I didn't come out far enough, so we'll just try that again. Spiral stairs need to be a certain size. Also because it's monolithic, we have to try some different properties there, so I'll change the tread depth, that should make it work. Yeah. Okay, so there's often some adjustments you need to make in properties to get these things to work, but that is a really good tool for most spiral stairs. Okay, so you can experiment with those things, and it's a really good thing when you're trying to set out your designs. Oh, SketchUp's terrible for stairs. I know, it's the worst.
Can you import a Revit stair into SketchUp?
Oh, of course, but it's better to go the other way. You can bring Revit stuff into SketchUp stuff into Revit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can export any of these things. Actually, sorry, no, you can't because you won't have the plugin. Yeah, there is a plugin that I've got that only cost me about $50. I had to pay for it, but it's worth it. So for $50, you can make perfect SketchUp models from Revit. Just search for the plugin, and it works perfectly. But yeah, no Revit file. So it takes Revit and sorry. Oh, I've forgotten the name of it. Just search for Revit, convert Revit to SketchUp, and you'll find it. Yeah, it's worth it. Oh, Revit imports SketchUp natively. So on the Insert tab, import CAD, and then just change it to SKP. Yeah. Oh yes, yeah, I will. Yeah. So have a go at that. So at least try to get that main stair in there, the entry stair, and then if you get time, experiment with the stair tool.